Okay, that one started, and this one is started, so feel free to go whenever you feel.
Hey there, my name's Heather Pepper. I will be turning 50 this April. My husband and I are originally from Pennsylvania, but he convinced me to move to Utah, and we have loved living here. We have 6 kids and just got our 4th grandchild. My husband has been cycling since he was a teenager, so not long after we got married, he bought me a mountain bike and took me out on a few rides, and then he took me to Moab, and I was quickly over the handlebars and all scraped up and bruised and bleeding. And I told him, no thank you, I'm never doing that again. I don't want to be involved in this sport. And I stuck with that viewpoint for about 23 years. And during that time, my husband taught our 4 older children how to ride bikes. And we even had some huge BMX bike jumps in our backyard, and a whole crew of kids from the neighborhood would come over and ride them. And since our kids are pretty spread out in age, it was really easy for me to stay inside, to stay home with the littlest one, while my husband and the older kids went on adventures. And so finally, when our youngest 2 started to ride, it felt like a safe place for me to start, because I figured, well, I only have to keep up with Quincy, right? And so little by little, I got better, but I really wasn't comfortable on the bike, and I got frustrated a lot. And at that time, I was riding my husband's old bike, which was too big for me and frankly way too much bike for me. But I was so stubborn that I just was like, no, I don't want my own bike. It's too much pressure. It's fine. I'll just keep riding this one. And then for Christmas of 2017, my husband surprised me with a bike that he had very carefully chosen to be the right bike for me. And it wasn't super expensive, but it did still feel like a lot of pressure. And I remember being scared, like, oh, I've been riding the same bike, for a while. I don't know what it's gonna be like to switch bikes. It's gonna take me weeks or months to get used to it. But honestly, within an hour, I was completely hooked. And so in 2018, I started riding more, and I really started to enjoy it. It really changed my life. Like, I can't overemphasize this part. I have suffered from anxiety since I was a teenager, and not the kind of anxiety that makes you hide in a dark place, but the kind where you're all tangled up in your head and you're making everybody else miserable. And I tried medication, I tried supplements, I knew I needed to, exercise and have a good diet. My husband would say to me, you are just not a happy person. Like, what can we do to help you be happier? And it's really ironic because the solution was right there the whole time, but I was, just too resistant, really just terrified of biking. But chemically, I am a totally different person now. Even though I would go on walks outside, I'd even go on hikes, mountain biking just has so many more endorphins, just from all the exerting yourself so completely and all the heavy breathing and just the fun of, obstacles and speed and rhythm, that I feel like a different person. My family treats me like a different person. But I've realized that I don't have time for anxiety because I'm too busy planning my next ride. I'm too busy volunteering in the community with cycling. And I honestly am completely addicted to mountain biking. I don't have a fat bike, but I go ride my local trails in the snow all the time. And it's actually really helping me with balance. It's helping me stay committed, because who wants to walk up the hill in wet clip shoes? You gotta stay on the bike. So to answer some of your questions, what intimidates me the most about cycling is the downhill. I drive my family a little bit nuts because if there's a spot on the trail that I can't do, I will just session it over and over again, and sometimes they just leave and ride home, which is fine. But I do love to climb, so I almost always beat my family to the top of the hill, and then a lot of times they will pass me on the downhill. But I can tell that I'm getting better because sometimes I actually beat my husband to the bottom now. Not the kids, but I can sometimes beat the old man who's been riding his entire life, but only because I make it to the top faster. But there are two things that excite me the most about the opportunity to race the Leadville 100 through your program. The first is the coaching. So I haphazardly put in a lot of miles in 2020, but I'm not sure that I got any faster than where I got to in 2019, so I would really like to raise the quality of my training, and I'm super motivated to learn as much as I can so that I can help the kids that I coach, and especially my own daughters who are now 11 and 13 and very excited about riding bikes. The second thing that inspires me about this race is the opportunity to set an example, not just for the kids that I coach, but also for my own daughters. I've got 3 daughters that are adults as well, and just really for women of all ages to find a way to take a sport like mountain biking and make it a part of their daily lives. Family will always come first, but mountain biking is a sport that involves the whole family, so I feel like it's been absolutely fantastic for my life circumstances. I've been really excited to see our 25-year-old daughter out on the trails with her 2-year-old on his Strider bike, and she's also recovering from a really hard pregnancy with her second baby, and biking is helping her do that. Besides the mental and physical health benefits of cycling, for me, it's really been a personal journey of overcoming my fears and of realizing how much fear holds me back in other areas of my life. I've always considered myself to be a confident person. I'm not shy. I always set high goals for myself, but in my relationships and in my parenting, I always seem to show up from a place of fear. And so I have looked at mountain biking and found when I'm out on the trail, like a lot of symbolism and a lot of very spiritual and sacred meaning from it. And that's something that I want for other people around me. It's made me so much happier and so much healthier and so much more connected to my community that I feel like mountain biking is something that needs to be shared with others. And if I can set an example of showing that, you know, I'm in my late 40s, I'll be 50 soon, and I've just started this new sport in the past couple of years. And honestly, if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it. I am in better shape than I've ever been in my life. I've never considered myself an athlete, but that has changed recently for me. And I'm just super appreciative of the opportunity to apply for this, and I would absolutely love to take on the challenge of the Leadville 100 in 2021. Thank you. Okay. Woo! Did I forget to mention in my video that my husband custom painted this helmet to match my bike?
Oh, dang.
Sounds like you're gonna start crying there for a minute.
Well, is that a bad thing?
No, biking means a lot.
You think people think about you driving your car with a helmet on?
I don't really care what they think.